Shalom Aleichem, we're learning the Sicha of Teves in the Chelik Tezvav. And this is based on a Farbrengen that the Rebbe had on Shabbos Parshas Vayeshev Tavshin Lamed Hey. That was Chaf Gimel Kislev. It was 2 days before Hanukkah started. Hanukkah that year started on like this year, Sunday night, Monday. And let's see, quite interesting how I often highlight the difference between the edited and the unedited. This is a relatively short Sicha, so we could do it a little more in depth, or just to go through at least the majority of the Sicha in the original and literally see how the written word evolves from the spoken word. And it's quite interesting. A few small differences between, but ultimately quite a fascinating experience to appreciate how Likkutei Sichos was made. Okay, so let's start. This was Shabbos Parshas Vayeshev. We spoke a few times the idea that every single year something gets repeated and a new light that was never here before, just like Rosh Hashanah, etc. I'm going quickly over here. This is in regards to all months, because every month has its own combination of the names of Hashem and Adonai, and that literally changes the whole energy. And when you place the letters of Hashem's name in the combinations differently, it changes, is meshane in ganzen and it changes entire concept. You see in Hashem's name itself, there's twice the letter Hey, Yud, the Hey, the Vav, and the Hey. And even though the letter and shape doesn't change, but nevertheless, the second Hey is a totally different thing. It's Malchus. And the first Hey is Bina, so it has totally different computations, etc. Now, this is also in regards to Shabbos Mevarchim, because like this year, Chav Gimel Teves, Chav Gimel Kislev was Shabbos Mevarchim. And when Hashem blesses Tishrei, as we know, we don't bless Tishrei, Hashem blesses it. So we have now the potential, we have the koyach to bless all the years. And we bring a new light each Rosh Chodesh that never was. Now, we see in the nature of the world that there's a difference between one month and the next. Each month has its energy. And this is because it's nishtalshal, it comes from the way, that's the way it is spiritually. And it's based on the different combinations of Hashem's name, etc., like it says in Shara Yichud Ve'emunah and the Shara Yichud, from I think the Mittel Rebbe and the Maimarim after that, etc. And it affects the Gashmias in the physical world. And each Shabbos Mevarchim has its own energy and its own setup. It's a different day, it's a different moilad, etc. So we have to find a chiddush in each month, and in our topic, we have to find a chiddush in Shabbos Mevarchim Teves. Now, what's the chiddush of Shabbos Mevarchim Teves? By all Shabbos Mevarchims, there is a break between the weekday and Rosh Chodesh. However, Shabbos Mevarchim Teves will always have Chanukah in between. You see, there's no other Yom Tov that starts at the end of the month. So whenever you'll have a Shabbos Mevarchim, maximum you'll go directly into Rosh Chodesh the next day, but you're never going to have a Yom Tov in between. Over here, Shabbos Mevarchim leads into Chanukah, or it could be in Chanukah itself, right? Shabbos Mevarchim could be, let's say, Chav Ches or whatever, but there's always going to be Chanukah there. And that shows that the foundation of the month of Teves is expressed in Chanukah. And therefore, the Chodesh Teves, which holds the entire month in it, is always going to be on Chanukah. And then the Rebbe said in the setup of this year, which is the same as this year, that the first day of Chanukah is after Shabbos Mevarchim, not Shabbos Mevarchim is not on Chanukah, it was before. So it's even more powerful because you're blessing Chanukah, and the week is full of Chanukah, etc. And especially the first day. The first day is all the ruchnius of everything is in the first day, and the oil was lit on the first day, etc. So it's a very special thing. Now, the special thing about Chodesh Teves that is expressed in Chanukah has to also be seen in Nigla. At this point, he mentions it, but he doesn't say it has to be seen in Nigla, at least Beremes. And what do we see in Nigla the Torah about the month of Teves? That month of Teves is Aguf Nenem and Aguf. So he does mention that. He mentions that in Ois Gimel, but he doesn't say the idea that you have to see it in Nigla, etc. And the Ish Isha is Knesset Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Chayda, it's not understood. What's the big milah of the expressing our guf, that the guf is having pleasure from the guf? That's what you refer to the Hashem and the Yidden. Guf? That's a chisaron, that's a lack. That's nothing. We're so much higher than guf. And the answer is that in regards to Neres Chanukah, the Ramban says that these lights are never going to be batal. And what is that? The ikar uftu for them is nitke when she's done the Neres Hamikdash. And the point is that the main accomplishment of Chanukah is not that they kept on lighting the menorah in the base Hamikdash and they set it up, etc. But dafka, the way they lit it in the Zman HaGalus, when there's nothing else, and we still lit the menorah. When there was the Beis Hamikdash and the Likus was revealed through the 10 miracles, fine. But during the time of Galus that we don't have the miracles, he says, there are miracles, but they're expressed themselves through nature. You don't see it. Elikus is not revealed. And dafke, then you light the candles as mizmeir umebalaichtem galus. You're lighting up the galus. And that is guf nenam min guf. That lights up the guf itself. Now, you have to ask a question. So basically, the point is, he said that the accomplishment of Geula is when the Ruchnius will shine through the Gashmius. And Chanukah does literally that the Gashmius itself lights up. Now, you have to ask the question, how can you say that the Tachlis HaShlemus is that the Eibishter has Hana from the Guf? The Guf itself is the Chayda Inyan from Chayshach. So it's a thing of darkness, etc. So, and the Rebbe asks based on what the Maimer he said, and he says the answer is connected to Chanukah, because then Hashem lights up the darkness. That Hashem brings a Amshacha in Shem Havaya that's higher than Shem Havaya, and that literally lights up from Milmata L'mayla. And then he brings from the Rebbe Rashab, who says in Torah Shalom that Atzmus is dafka in the guf, etc. Quite some interesting topics over here. It brings from the Rambam. Yeah. And then he brings from the Sipur Baal Shem Tov, they brought in the Sicha, which is brought in the Sefer Shivchei Baal Shem Tov, that he made ice to burn. What did he have to do? He wasn't chasing. He wasn't chasing Moifsim. And why do we have to know this story? Nordas is their limud. So what's the lesson? The lesson is as nit medaf environment. You don't have to warm up the ice. It should become vaser. That should become water, and then put it on a fire till it becomes boiling, etc. Just an interesting expression. But rather, you literally take the ice itself and it lights. And that's how you do. How do you do that? Through Kabbalah Sel. As mebrech the kerach hanoida, the terrible ice, and we light it, that it should shine up the shul of the Baal Shem Tov, just the words that he doesn't use in the final Sicha, in the edited, just beautiful expression. You should light up the shul from the Baal Shem Tov. And through that, you kal yadagla tamadoy, the people on the streets, you light up themselves as well. And you light up the marketplace, you put some chutza, etc. Just a beautiful Sicha, a Felich and Chanukah to all.